Hello, I'm Casey Krebs, and today we are going to be making chocolate chip cookies. I have all the ingredients in front of me, and this is what all the ingredients are. We have our eggs at room temperature, we have our butter at room temperature, our white sugar, our brown sugar, bread flour, all-purpose flour, milk chocolate, and semi-sweet chocolate. We have our salt over here. We have our baking soda, and we have our vanilla, which we will measure right into the bowl. So we're gonna do the first step now, and the first step is to cream the butter and the sugars together. So we are going to open this up. We have our paddle attachment. We're gonna pour in the room temperature butter, and then we're gonna add our two sugars in. So we have our brown sugar and our white sugar. So we're gonna put this back down, lock it in place. We're gonna mix it at a start with a slow temperature so that doesn't go flying everywhere. And then what you'll do is we're gonna go to about a medium speed for about 3 to 4 minutes just to start. When you cream your butter and sugar together, it makes your butter and sugar fluffy and lighter, and it aerates the butter to make it nice and fluffy. So this is what it looks like for now. A lighter color. There's some sugar crystals on this paddle here, and then also underneath sometimes the butter collects at the bottom, so you want to scrape it down, and we're going to scrape off the paddle as well. We're going to cream it again for another full minute. This is how light and fluffy it is. So we're just going to scrape it down once more in case we missed anything. If you think that's it, you're wrong. We're gonna actually let it aerate a little bit more. We're gonna let it mix for about another 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, there we go again. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to put my baking soda into my flour and just mix it up. We're just gonna put this aside for now. We have our eggs and our vanilla. So we're gonna beat the eggs up, and then we're gonna add in our teaspoon of vanilla. And give that another mix. And then we're gonna mix this in slowly. We're just gonna incorporate this in very slowly. So put on slow to start. Now that it's all in, I'm gonna just speed it up a little bit towards the end. It's not gonna spill everywhere. I'm just gonna mix it up again. Make sure there's nothing sitting at the bottom. And now I'm just gonna take my salt and add it to my flour as well. We have our very nice dough here, but we're just gonna put this aside for a moment. We're gonna do one extra step, which will pay off in the end. So we have our two flours, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna add them to a larger bowl first. And we have our all-purpose flour with our baking soda in it. And then what we're gonna do next is add our chocolate in as well. So we have our semi-sweet and our milk chocolate. We're gonna add those both in, and we're gonna mix it in here first all together. So why are we gonna do this first? Good question. We want to mix our flour as little as possible in our dough. The reason for that is the more you mix it, the more the gluten develops. The more the gluten develops, the harder the cookie. So if you want a nice fluffy cookie, you really just want to mix it as minimally as possible until all the dry ingredients are combined with the wet ingredients. We're gonna add all of this in. We're just gonna pulse it really slowly, and then mix it by hand afterwards. The rest I'm just gonna do by hand. And then this is our dough, but there's still some flour. There's still some pieces of flour in it. This is the hardest part now. The hardest part, and trust me, I get it, is we need to wait to bake this. I wanna bake this right away. I know you wanna bake this right away, but we need to refrigerate this for at least 3 hours or overnight. So if you can hold out for 3 hours, you got it. If you can do overnight, great. And the reason for that is the flour needs to hydrate. So while the flour is sitting in there with the butter and with the egg, it's going to hydrate, and it'll make your cookie 10 times better. If you can wait, wait. So we're gonna put it in an airtight container and then put it right in the fridge. When you take out your cookie dough, make sure to preheat your oven to 350 degrees before you start scooping. You're gonna take your cookie dough out of the fridge and leave it out for about 1 hour at room temperature, and that will make it really easy to scoop. So you want to get a scooper if you have one, if not use a spoon. This way you'll have consistent scoops. So I still have all this cookie dough left. You should be able to make just over 12 cookies with this. We're going to bake these cookies for 15 to 18 minutes or until the edges are lightly browned and soft and chewy in the middle. These are the chocolate chip cookies. Lighter in the middle and crispier on the outside. The cookies have been moved to this rack so that airflow can go through and it can cool evenly. And there we go. Look at that cookie. Ooey gooey good. So it's completely baked through, a little bit crispy on the outside.